Superman, Superman strong. Yes, we're made of steel. We talking sports right now. You better know that it's real. We on your airwaves all. We talking every level. Yeah, that's right. Put them on the chopping block. Grading them out from A to Z. See which one is hotter now. Wanna chime in? Hey, pick up your phone and call in. Host, Buck, Clint, Coast, Etowah, Auburn, Gas City, Westbrook, Coosa, Christian, Southside, Rammer, Jammer, Yellowhammer, give them hell, Alabama. Friday night lights, it ain't nothing like Saturday hype. We love it right. You wanna hear the best sports to now? Your Foul Sports Talk, the best all around. The Foul Sports Radio, I hope you ready. The Foul, yeah, it's about to go down. The Foul, K-A-V-O-W Sports Radio, and yeah, we all the way live. The Foul Sports Radio, I hope you ready. The Foul, yeah, it's about to go down. The Foul, K-A-V-O-W Sports Radio, and yeah, we all the way live.
Amen.
What's up, man?
Russ, get your boy.
God, look at this.
Yeah.
Coach, look at this. I got to show you. You got to look at this. Look at this coffee over here. You ain't going to look at it. Look at this coffee. Look at the crap. That's my bad.
Rain are good.
Coach.
Welcome to the Coosa Christian Football Show with Coach Russ Probst. What's up, man? Good grief.
Coach,
that's bad, buddy. That looks bad. That's on me.
It was bad. No,
that's my fault.
No. All you can ask for is hand up accountability. Then it goes on, right? Then it's over with. Coach, first of all, congratulations on the first round victory for you in the program. And let's just talk briefly about that game. There was an awful lot of positive that came out of that football game. I want to focus on your quarterback a little bit. I thought that he stood out, and when his fundamentals were on point, when he stood tall in the pocket, delivered a football on time, beautiful.
Yeah, I thought he played well. I mean, I think there was one misread the whole night, and he's going to do some of that because of what we do. And
he's a sophomore. Let's be
yeah, and then what we're doing is a little bit complex, sometimes too complex. But I was proud of the way he played, proud of the way our football team played, and I think at the end of the day, first round game, I thought our kids were excited about being back in the playoffs, But there's only 5 on the team that's been in a playoff game before. So, I sort of thought differently about that until I asked him the question of how many of you actually played in the game, 2 years ago, and there were only 5 raised their hands. So it's not like
I did not realize that.
Yeah, we're not a veteran team when it comes to playoff experience. So,
yeah.
Zayden and Rad, for sure, and I think Grayson, Chase, maybe. I can't call all 5 of them, but I remember the 5 that raised their hand. Maybe LJ.
Mickler.
Yeah, Mickler. Yeah, big one. So maybe it wasn't LJ, but they were 5. So at the end of the day, we're not the most veteran team when it comes to that. So I think they were excited about playing. Being in the playoffs, having the opportunity, and I think they seized that opportunity very well and played very well. So on to the next round.
Atmosphere. It was fantastic.
Yeah, good atmosphere, good crowd, and I thought we did some good things. I thought the stadium looked great, the grass looked great.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
Dwayne East.
Yep.
Just look at you, Bob.
He was out there today.
He was out there cutting women there a few minutes ago.
Dwayne's a champ, man. And right when I pulled out, they're lining the field today, and we got the Rainbow City people to do that for us, which is professionally done. It's done with a robot, and it looks good. I mean, the field is just wonderful. So, and we've stayed off of it from practice perspective this week and last week. So, the field should be in great shape. Now, it'll get to the point because our practice field is just about done.
Yeah.
So, we'll probably have to, starting next week, move to the game field for practice. So,
does that help? Does that help you guys when you practice on the game field?
I think you have to some.
Yeah.
When I was in Georgia at Coffee, we did until we built the indoor facility. We were on our game field because it was turf.
Yeah.
And we played 99% of our games were always on turf. There was only one 7A school in Georgia that had grass. That was it. Everybody else had turf in the whole state. 84 out of 85 had turf.
Wow.
Yeah. So, we played. So we used our game field until we built our new facility. And when we built our new facility, we had an outdoor facility, we had the indoor facility that were turfed, and then of course our game field was turfed. But so I think practicing on your field gives you some familiarity, and I think that helps with a lot of different things. But at the same time, you got to be careful with it, especially when it's wet and it's cut up. And so ours should be in perfect shape for Friday night, and then we'll see after that.
Hey, before we go further, we see someone watching here. We have to tell you, happy birthday
to
it's Holly Thomas.
Well, happy birthday, Holly.
It's a birthday.
Is she 30?
Not a day over 74. That's what. Just kidding. Don't hit me, Holly. I'm kidding. It's a great family right there.
Very good family. Very good. Holly's great.
Let's talk about the defense. I think the defense kind of sparked a little bit of everything. Their energy, I think it was complementary football, and it started on the defensive side.
Yeah, I think defensively we had a good plan, and Teddy does a phenomenal job of getting our plan ready. He works tireless hours. Him and Eric and our defensive staff does a great job of getting our football team ready to play each week. It's always takes more defensively, from a standpoint of it's that old adage, they know where they're going and we don't. So, so it takes a lot more prep time, I think, from a defense perspective. Although we've worked tireless hours all week, as you can tell, my throat's about gone, and
you're welcome, Stephanie.
And you're tired, and you get tired this time of year. But at the same time, when you're sitting up there to midnight every night working, and then of course the kids yesterday, we worked them so dang hard yesterday. They were up there from 10:30 till 6:30 last night. So, we're doing a lot more film work than I think they've done in the past, and which creates more time to do it. And you got to lift weights, and you got to watch defensive film and offensive film and practice on both sides of the ball. So really, what you're doing, it would take 6 hours to do. You could do it in 3 hours if you got one-way players. And so, because you're doubling up. But in this situation, we can't double up because you got two-way players. That's the advantage of playing one side of the ball, that we don't have that luxury right now. Hopefully in the future, if you got enough to play only one way or sparingly both ways, would be a lot better, and time would be cut in half of the time you spend. But you got to be careful with it. Like today, we'll be in and out of there today. I think we start at 2 o'clock in the weight room, and then I think we're done at 5:30 today. So
it's church day too.
It's church day, so we try to get them out of there and early enough. But at the same time, it's playoff time too, and if we run over a little bit, we'll run over. It is what it is. So,
as a youth pastor to one of your kids, I can't accept that rush.
I'm sorry.
I need Georgie there on time.
Sorry.
Championship's going to look good on his hand, but his salvation is way more important.
Yeah, well, I agree with that 100%. Good. I think the good Lord would be mad at you for not preparing.
It'd be excellent everything you do, right?
That's exactly right. I think he was, and I think preparation is very important. And I related a little bit to the NFL.
Okay.
I think that last time I checked, I think it played at 12 o'clock. I don't think they're in church at 12 o'clock.
Well, here's the thing. When you have to travel out of town, Coach, and out of your state, it's a little different. And they do travel with chaplains. You don't have a chaplain, right?
Yeah, we do. We got 2 or 3 good ones.
Do you really? Name one.
Alan, outstanding.
Name one.
Alan's
okay, let's move on. Right.
But no, we do have a good chaplain. Alan does a wonderful job. But it's just, I tell people all the time, the good Lord wants you to worship Him every day.
Amen. That's fact.
Yeah, that's fact.
Hey, let's talk about a couple of the young kids that got in the game. How important is it? Like you had some 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th graders in the game that normally doesn't get a lot of rep, and they got reps in a first-round playoff game. Talk about the importance of that going on in their career.
I think it helps. It makes them grow. And like I've seen the difference in a couple of kids this week in practice that was able to get in the game the other night that come to this week to practice. You got to understand now, not only are you winning a state title, but you're growing your team for the future. Although we don't have a lot of players for the future yet, but the ones we do have is growing, and they're really. You get 5 more weeks of practice. If you can make it to the championship game, you get 5 extra weeks of practice. That's huge. That's half a season.
Sure.
And I think people have asked me all the time, when we were making that run at Hoover to 7 straight championship games, when I was in Georgia, 10 straight championship or semifinal games, I used to tell people all the time, they said, how did you sustain it? How did you maintain it? It's because we practiced more than anybody else. And over time, you think about it, like at Hoover, they were 38 more weeks of practice in that 8-year span.
Wow.
38 more weeks.
That's huge.
That's nearly 4 seasons more in 8 seasons. First year we didn't make the playoff. So in that 8 seasons, we had 38 more weeks of practice. That's like having 12 seasons.
That's crazy.
And same thing in Georgia. I mean, you think about 10 years. Now you're looking at 46, 47 weeks. That's nearly 5 seasons.
And so I should stop calling Kylan Johnson and Mac Long sophomores.
No, they're juniors.
Season's passed.
That season's gone.
Yeah.
And so I think, the people like Paul Benefield and Danny Horn, and
I vaguely have heard of them.
the guys that have won a lot of ball games too, and I'm sure Steve's taking the same thing. When he was at Piedmont, the 5 championships he won. I mean, that was the reason you sustain success, because you get more practice time and those kids grow. And I've told this story to our players. We had a kid at Colquitt that did not start. He was a junior. Whole year, 9 games plus preseason, plus summer, plus spring practice. He didn't start. All of a sudden, week 10, a kid gets hurt, and he gets his opportunity week 10.
Yeah.
Then he played 5 rounds of the playoffs. That kid grew. He had 6 picks in the playoffs.
Good Lord.
Ended up going to LSU. He's now playing for the Vikings.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
And so I think you see a lot of that. And like yesterday's practice, our scout team looked better than it's ever looked all year, because they're making it more difficult, where 5 weeks ago, I mean, it was like running through water. So now those kids are playing a little bit better and giving us a better look, and it's helping them, helping us. So that's sort of the growth of a program.
All right, so this week you guys host Lexington, the Golden Bears. See, the mascot's pretty sweet looking.
It is a good
It
looking
looks
mascot.
pretty good. All right, so they bring their own set of strengths. Talk a little bit about what you see with Lexington.
They're big, they're physical. Their foot speed may not be as good as some of ours, but at the same time, people talk about foot speed and talk about our speed. We got about 5 guys that got good speed. The rest of our guys are not just overly fast. I mean, we got some kids that can run pretty well. I think where we have an advantage over certain teams is like, you take Bradley Mays and you take Zane Franklin. Those guys run good for big men. They really do. DL runs very well. And so those 3 kids are not your typical sludgy linemen, so to speak. So then we got some that are, and that don't.
And God bless them.
And like Maddox Gaines is a good player, but he don't have great foot speed. You got Chase. He doesn't have great foot speed, but he's a good player. But everybody else sort of runs well.
Yeah.
Even and I think that's. But now then we got really fast people with Grayson and LJ and Kylan and Mac and Carson Reed and
That surprised me. His touchdown run.
Oh, he can run now.
It was better than his speed was better.
He can run. No, Mac can run now. He's a true sub 4.7, probably 4.68, 4.67 guy. Legit. And I think so. Our speed is, I think, better than Lexington.
Yeah.
But does that matter? I don't know that it does, because they can counter with physicality. They're big. Their 2 outside linebackers are the 2 best we've faced all year. Number 11 and 25, one 6'4", 205, and the other one's 6'2", 6'3", about 220. And they sit on the edge, and they are awfully hard to block.
Yeah.
And then they're big in the box. And then their secondary is, okay. I mean, but they're where they're supposed to be all the time. Brent Mask is their head coach. His dad is Steve Mask, who's a Hall of Fame coach who won several state titles at Colbert County and at St. Paul. I think that we and there's my chaplain calling me a little bit.
I say, wait a minute, you do have a chaplain.
But anyway, I think I think that Lexington brings a challenge to our football team because of their physicality and their size, and their quarterback can really throw the football. They want to get on the perimeter, which they do, and they killed North Sand Mountain getting on the perimeter. They kill people with throwing the football downfield. They really do a good job. This quarterback is heady. I know he's young, but he throws really well. He scares us to death because he can be right 3 or 4 times and it be 6. And so we're going to have to be very smart and not give up deep balls and not bust coverages and this, that, and the other, because they're going to really attack us downfield.
Yeah,
they are. That's just what they do.
One thing that Jeff brought out during the broadcast is how impressed he was on our wide receivers blocking downfield, actually helping Carson score a touchdown, a couple other touchdowns. Talk about what goes into, because blocking downfield for a wide receiver, you got to be bought in, you got to be a good teammate, and you have to want to do it. Talk about that culture from the wide receiver standpoint.
You better repeat the question.
I understand. Now I know what it's like to be Stephanie.
Trying to put out a fire. Go ahead.
Jeff made a comment, or he brought it to my attention during the broadcast about how well our wide receivers block downfield. Mm-hmm. And to do that, you have to be unselfish. You have to want to block. Talk about what makes that a good culture in that wide receiver room.
Well, you're going to get 5 targets a game probably. Maybe 6 to 7. You're going to catch 3 to 4 of them. Maybe on a good night you catch 5 balls. So if you play 60 offensive snaps, you catch 5 balls, what are you doing the other 55?
Yeah.
And so that's sort of where that stands. So I think that's the key to it. I think that's the big key to it, is that, you have to do other things. I played that position. All my boys played that. All 4 of my own sons played receiver. And I used to tell them all the time, it's not how many catches you have, it's what you do when the ball's not coming your way. Mm-hmm. And you have to be unselfish, and you have to be smart, and you have to block. You got to run routes when you're not the primary receiver.
Right.
You can't be lazy and run a half route if you're not getting the ball. Because all of a sudden the quarterback may go to you, and if you're not running the route, because you thought, well, there's no way I'm going to get the ball on this play because I'm on the other side of the field, quarterback gets flushed your way, bam, then you hit it that way. So at the end of the day, I think that's what you got to do as a receiver, is you got to be very, very unselfish and understand really what you are as a football player. I mean, in the NFL, guys, those guys catch 7 balls, 8 balls. They've had a great night.
Yeah.
Every once in a while you'll see a 13 catch night. But I used to have a stat here that, I know this was at Hoover, I'm not sure at Kaufman, but at Hoover, if we had a receiver that had 10 catches or more, we lost the game.
Really?
Yeah. It was weird.
Wow.
And I think that was because, first off, we probably having to throw it too much.
Play script determined.
And then the other thing is there wasn't ball distribution, so we were just going to one guy.
Yeah.
And so now is that a bad stat? It probably is, but at the same time, we threw it 40 to 50 times a game when I was at Hoover, and we were always really good when our X had 5, or H had 5, or Y had 5, or Z had 5, and our F had 4. So that's 24 catches. That means you had to throw it about 40 to catch 35. If we caught 24 and threw it 35 times, that was a good night. But we had so much depth that our 2s would catch 8 balls or 7 balls. So we'd end up catching 31 balls, 32 balls out of those 45 throws. And so But that ball distribution and attacking all the way different parts of the field made defenses pull their hair out.
Yeah.
And so that was sort of the method of our madness there. Things changed a little bit in South Georgia because we had really good running backs. And so we would throw it 25 times, 20 to 25, try to stay balanced because we had good receivers too, but we always had good running backs. So at Coosa, we have two really special receivers, and then you throw Kylan in the mix as an athlete receiver running back.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got to throw Palmer in there. It's going to catch you some big balls during the night.
He's the dirty guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he does the little things.
He does. And I think that, hopefully Carson Reed can continue to improve and give some depth there too. So there is a method to the madness, but, receivers have to be unselfish players.
And one thing Jeff pointed out, because he was a receiver as well.
Where?
LJ at Coosa. LJ had 2 pancake blocks coming from the wide receiver room. That's pretty cool.
LJ has improved more as a football player in the last 4 to 5 weeks than any player on our team. He has really stepped up. And I think that if there's a lot of colleges out there that are missing a boat on him right now. And now we'll end up being able to sell him because of the way he's playing. But that's something we will start that process pretty quick after Thanksgiving. But he won't be in the early signing class, but he will be in the second signing class in February. And I think that, recruiting's changed so much, guys, that it's about becoming a nuisance for high school coaches, to be quite honest with you, because it's the week of the state championship game. It's the signing.
That's the signing, the first
December 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Yeah.
So you're going to have guys in the state championship game that are doing signing ceremonies.
It's crazy.
It's crazy world we live in. But and it's hard for old coaches like me to accept that, but it is what it is. And I think that, but with LJ, going back to LJ, he's really improved as a football player on both sides of the ball. His physicality, his ability to step up and play. I mean, he is a lower level Division I player. That's what he is.
It's funny about reputations. We were in Marietta just a couple of days ago, and we had a guy come up to. I had a Coosa shirt on, and he came up and goes, "Hey, I know that school." And I said, "You do?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Coach Russ Probst is there." I said, "Yep, then you know it." And he played for the Marietta Blue Devils, and his son played for him 2 years ago. He said, we met Coltwood County twice in 20 years. We played them in 91. He was on that team. And then his son was on the team in 21, and they got beat both times. And he said, so we all know who Russ Probst is, but said reputation precedes us. So talk about this real quick. What do you tell your guys about character when they're on the field in these playoff games like this? Because it gets crazy intense. And Jared, I love the fights and the after. They play through the echo of the whistle or the echo of the echo of the echo of the whistle?
It's the echo of the whistle, Coach. That's why I was talk coming up, right?
But, shoot, yeah. But it gets intense, man, and you love it. How do you – trash talking's a big thing right now on Instagram. I know you don't look at it. We don't look at it too much, but we hear it all the time that these teams are getting out there jawing each other. What's that thing? Snapchat. That's what we were talking. Snapchat.
There's no way Pisgah said we want Coosa.
They did say that. We read that. So how do you keep your guys to keep that noise out of their freaking head and stay focused on the task at hand? I mean, that's got to get in your head, right?
Well, there's paint that you put on a wall.
Yeah.
And some of the speeches you got to have will peel the paint. or you definitely don't need to have your chaplain in there while you're talking to them. So
good news, you only have one.
Yeah. So because kids only understand one thing.
Yeah.
And they understand, a very intense conversation about, staying grounded and having character and not being stupid on the field. We've had that reputation here, and I think that's not a good reputation to have. We had 5 personal fouls of the night. Now, Zayden's was because it was not a whistle. They didn't blow a whistle, and even the official told me they didn't blow a whistle, but they penalized because it was unnecessary roughness. I didn't get that one, but because I thought the officials did a great job of it, not to be honest with you, except for that one call on LJ that was pass interference.
Oh, yeah, that
wasn't pass interference.
Yeah,
but the official
agreed.
admitted to me that he blew the call. So I was very appreciative of the official for saying that. I mean,
Sure.
that's all you ask for is honesty.
Yeah.
But you can't be selfish. You can't hurt your team by doing stupid things like personal fouls, grabbing face masks. The one thing we didn't have was that we didn't have a holding call. That's a good thing. We did not
praise
have,
God for that. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
We did not have a holding call, so that was a plus. But we still had 105 yards in penalties, and 6 of them, I think 6 were personal fouls. So I'll take one away. I'll take Zayden's away on that one deal.
Yeah.
But we cannot have personal fouls. That's going to bite us in the you know what, and it's going to cost us a championship if we don't cut it out. And we preach that, and we're preaching it more and more and more. But they cannot continue to do that. I think our turnover has been good. I don't think we've turned the ball over a lot lately. Hopefully, not on wood. But the key is we've got to take those penalties from 105 yards down to about 40 yards. You're going to have some guys.
Sure.
But it needs to be one holding call. It needs to be a jump off sides, an illegal procedure, even a couple jumping off sides. Maybe a PI. Because PIs now, I mean, the problem with high school officiating is they really doesn't understand pass interference. Kids watch college football, and the officials do a great job in that league of letting them hand fight and bodying. But in high school, sometimes they call the least. And look, I'm an offensive guy. You'd think I'd be wanting to call it every snap, but I don't. I really don't. I think that personal fouls is probably the most abused call out there, and I think it's because I don't know whether they understand it or what it is, but that's one thing. And the second thing I think is perimeter blocking. You see a receiver that'll block a defensive back or an outside linebacker. Yeah. If they block them over 2 seconds, it's automatic holding. That shouldn't be that way. Yeah. So, and I think but everything else, I think our officials do a good job. I think going forward, these officials in the second round I thought we had a good crew in the first round. I know the crew coming from Huntsville the second round. Some of these guys called my 2007 Hoover Florence game way back 18 years ago. So I know these guys pretty well. They're experienced people. They'll do a good job. But again, we've got to hone in on the penalties and be smart and not get stupid penalties, especially in crucial situations.
That's it.
And because that'll beat you. That will beat you.
Let's see. Appreciate everyone commenting online.
I don't know. Just popped up.
Technology.
I was reading on the vocal thing on here. This meter we're cutting out, so I was checking to see. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, so hey, a couple things. First of all, congratulations, Zayden Franklin making an all-star team.
Yes,
that's huge.
That's huge for a school, and it's good publicity for him, for us, the school, for everything. I think it's a positive, and I really think LJ's an alternate. I think that's right. I may be wrong on that, but I think he is an alternate too. So a lot of times there'll be 4 or 5 of these all-star guys. North-South will get bumped up to the Alabama-Mississippi game, and then they have to fill in. So Coach Evans is the head coach from Vestavia. He is the head coach of the North squad. And I've talked to Coach, and so hopefully they keep them all together. But if they lose one, we've got a couple more that can still go play in that thing. But it's going to be played on December the 12th or 13th in Mobile, because the Alabama-Mississippi game is played in Hattiesburg at Southern Miss. So it's two really good all-star games, and I think it helps in recruiting, especially that North-South game. It gives college coaches an opportunity to get to see them against other pretty good players.
Yeah.
So Zayden will be down there from December 9th through the 13th, and we'll go down and watch him play at South Alabama. And so very happy for him. He is well deserving, and I'm thinking, and there's other kids deserving on our team. I put up all the seniors, but I knew, really it boiled down to 2 players that had a chance, and that was Zayden and LJ, really, of what they were looking for, because Zayden can play so many positions, and so they took him because he can play center, he can play guard, he can play tackle, he can play defense, all those kinds of things. So that's where we are. I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
I'm happy for our team. Happy for our school.
It'd be tough for me to keep Bradley Mays off of any All-Star team.
Oh, he's great.
He's a dog.
He's a great player.
Absolute dog. Hey, let's talk about this, and we'll wrap it up, Coach. And a lot of questions. You guys, thank you guys so much for jumping on. Except for you, Coach Brody. You need to be doing something else. Let's talk about how important, you mentioned reputation before. Let's talk how important loyalty is in coaching, right? Because you get pulled so many different ways. And as pastors or people, we get pulled a lot of different ways. To me, I put very little above loyalty. I mean, that matters. And when your field and your career, talk about what loyalty means to you.
It's the number one thing in coaching to me.
Yeah.
I tell young coaches all the time, one is your work ethic. If you don't have work ethic, and what I mean by that is a young guy, because I was the guy that would come in and make the coffee in the morning. I would be the one that turns out the lights at the end. And that's just the way it was at Heflin High School in 1981. You learn that as a young coach, that guys had been in it a while, they had earned the right to not have to do that.
Right.
Young guys did that. So until you're cleaning bathrooms, lining fields, cutting grass, doing maintenance work, doing what I just said, getting there early and leaving late, that work ethic is unmatched. I mean, I've hired and fired a lot of coaches based on that. Second thing, right equal to that is loyalty.
Yeah.
Is how loyal are you? You have to be loyal, and sometimes that can be tough. And especially in today's world.
Oh, sure.
And so loyalty is a key to everything. And if you're not loyal, then you're not a good person. And usually that ugly head will raise up, and I usually cut it off, to be honest with you. I've fired other coaches because of lack of loyalty and work ethic. Them are the two things to me, is loyalty and work ethic is how I analyze. Look, there'll be coaches that you hire that don't know certain things about certain things. Now they got to have somewhat of a background, but I usually put them on the board. I usually interview them 2 or 3 times. I try to get to know them, try to get to know their wife or their girlfriend, and because a lot of times that can be a deterrent in a negative way. Can be a positive, can be a negative. I don't want to have to deal with that down the road. And so having a good wife and a good support spouse or girlfriend is so important in athletics and football, because of the time element you spend working. And if you're there to 2 and 3 in the morning, like we are at times, or even midnight, it has to be an understanding wife. And I get it, everybody's not like my wife. I mean, she's overboard the other way, but she'll hang in there with the best of them. But because she has a tremendous work ethic.
Sure. Hard work, no
hard work.
I
mean, she don't care. She's gonna clean. She's gonna do this. She's gonna keep. She wants things organized. And her dad was like that. There's got to be a place for everything. She can't stand when this is thrown over a corner, or this is not put up, or there's clutter, or there's this. All the kinds of things she has an issue with. And look, she's been in 3 different school systems with me, and she keeps it going. Now, does every coach's wife have to be that gung-ho? No. But they have to be supportive of their husband or boyfriend, or there's going to be issues down the road. I've seen a lot of good coaches that lost their way because of that. And then they struggle later on, or they have to get out of it. So it takes a special woman and to do that, and that's important. So I've said the 3 things that I've hired coaches with, and that's the other side of the other side, the loyalty and the work ethic.
My favorite. We'll end it here. My favorite Stephanie moment was actually this past Friday night. I saw her on the sideline with a water bottle. She grabbed the face mask and made the kid a water, whatever it was. She's like, "No, you're getting you need hydration," and she made the kid drink her water.
Yeah, all over the field.
I thought that was pretty cool.
No, she does a good job at everything, all that kind of stuff, and the food, and and just keeping everybody grounded. And she's had to do a lot of things. She'll babysit assistant coaches' kids, and because I don't have a problem with kids coming up there. When I was younger, my younger days at Hoover, I did. I didn't want any kids around. didn't want a lot of wives around either, to be honest with you. But, as time changed, and I think she changed more than anything with that deal.
Praise God for that.
Yeah, I wasn't as good a person back then. And, I was heck bent on just win at all costs, and it was football 24/7, and didn't care about nothing else, to be honest with you. And I think that at the end it bit me. But when I went to Georgia, things changed for me, and I've been a way better husband, way better father, and a way better coach, I believe, since we went down there in 2008. And I think I give a lot of credit to Hugh Ward. He was a pastor there in Moultrie at the Presbyterian Church, and when I got there, I was a broken man, and he helped put my life back together in a lot of different ways. And
Heck yeah.
and so we had lots of talks over the years, and I've of course, good Lord has been in my life since then a good bit, but Hugh Ward was the mainstay to getting me turned the right way.
Heck yeah. Anything in closing before we got here? You guys show up for the game, more importantly.
Yeah, everybody's got to come out. We got to, I think Lexington is going to bring probably the best crowd we've had here. I mean, they really travel well now.
Yeah.
And so they're excited about being in the playoffs, and excitement brings energy, and energy brings problems for the home team if the home team doesn't match it.
Heck yeah.
Just because we're at home don't mean that we can't bring the same energy. And I think we got to get out of that mindset, well, we're going to be in a championship game. No, we're not. We have to win each week like it's a championship game. If not, we'll stub our toes and we'll get beat. And it don't take but that 2 hour and 45-minute window on any given Friday night that if you just don't come to play, a few things bad can happen, and then you're behind the 8 ball.
All right, get out there Friday night. Game time kickoff is at 7 o'clock. Go to gofan.co, get your tickets. You can buy them at the gate as well. But, brother, I promise you, that crowd, home crowd,
get there early.
I graduated from Coosa. I've run this circle and been at this stuff a long time. We ain't never seen crowds like that, and the energy is next level.
It's not because of the football team. It's because the concession stand's so good.
Correct.
Everybody's coming out for that concession.
The food's good.